Hi there, I hope you are well, and today I will be talking about different ways that can help you with your vocabulary because I know that reading is not everyone's cup of tea. In case you don't know what this expression means, not everyone's cup of tea means that not everyone likes it. So you can use it in this way, as I just used, not everyone's cup of tea. But you can also say that something is not your cup of tea. So let's say someone invited you to go to a yoga class and you don't like it. So of course you can say, I don't like it, I don't want to go. But you can also say, nah, it's not my cup of tea. It means you don't really like it. Now, I know that when you watch a movie or watch a show or listen to music, you don't really want to feel like you have work to do, like you are working or like you are studying. Do you? I mean, no one really wants that. However, it's not that. It's not like you are going to be studying. You're not going to have a notebook with you writing down new words. But it is doing something in an active way. Because why not take advantage of it? Because if you are watching a show, why not watch it in English and help you practice? Because after a while, it becomes more natural because you are used to doing it. To be able to do it in an active way, you have to do certain things. So remember, I've said before, if you watch shows or movies with Portuguese subtitles, you have to stop because it's not really helping you now and it's not going to help you in the long run. Because you focus too much on reading, so you read the subtitles and you don't pay too much attention to why you are listening. So it doesn't help. Stop. However, if watching shows and movies in English is something that you've just started doing, so you haven't been doing it for a while, it's new to you, so you don't feel confident yet to watch a 2-hour movie without any subtitles because you are concerned you are not going to understand the entire story. So that's okay to give the English subtitles because, well, I always thought this was handy because I've used this trick when I was trying to improve my vocabulary. When you hear a word very often, the characters are having a conversation and maybe there's one or maybe there are 2 words that you hear often, but you don't know what it means. Stop the show. It's going to take 30 seconds for you to search that word and find out what it means. And I can assure you that after, when you hear that word again during the conversation, you are going to remember what it means. Because we remember a new word when we use it. So if you take the dictionary and you read 2 or 3 words. So you say, yeah, today I've learned, 2 new words. But if you don't use it, it's unlikely that you are going to remember. So that's a good thing when you are watching a show or a movie because you are likely to hear that word again after you've just searched what it means. So it really helps you remember. And something that I think it's wonderful about watching shows and movies in English is that it really helps with your pronunciation. Because, well, for that you have to pay attention. Remember, that's why reading everything is not the best idea. Because when you hear the way that they are pronouncing words, you can actually copy it. There's a method to build a strong pronunciation that is called shadowing. So like a shadow, I hope you know what's a shadow. So it's literally copying it. So you hear a sentence, you can actually stop it and repeat it. And again, I spoke about it earlier, I know that when you're watching a movie, you don't want to do that. You don't want to, feel like you have work to do. However, maybe if it's something that you've watched before, I don't know about you, but if I really like a show, I tend to watch certain episodes again because I really enjoy them. So maybe when you are doing that, you are watching an episode for the second time, you know the story, so you know how it goes. you can always pause it and, repeat the entire sentence. And it's a fantastic way to practice. Even though no one wants to feel like they're working during what's supposed to be free time, if you are here, if you are watching this video, I imagine it is because you are studying English and you want to become better. So to become better, we have to practice. There's no other way around it. And I don't know where you are on your journey. I don't know if you take English classes or maybe you are learning by yourself. I don't know if you have someone that you can practice with. But no matter what the option is at the moment, what's happening at the moment, you have to practice. And well, not just with English, but anything that we decide to learn, we have to practice to become better. So it's really important that if you are studying English, you don't just study English when you are in the classroom or if you take 2 hours a week that you study, because it's going to take so much longer for you to actually be fluent, because you have to incorporate other things into it. So watching a movie in English, it's especially if you don't have someone that you can practice with, it becomes a fantastic way for you to actually listen to how the words are pronounced. And you are always going to learn new words. Always. It's impossible that you are going to watch a movie or watch a show and you're not going to hear one word that you didn't know before. And if you don't believe that watching a movie can be considered practicing, let me tell you a story. So if you watched any of my previous videos, you know that the first time that I left Brazil, the first time that I traveled overseas, I went to Japan. So of course that there I had people to practice with, co-workers and friends. However, I also wanted to watch a movie during my free time. And well, remember this happened over 12 years ago. So I did not have a smartphone, I did not have a computer. So what I could do at the time was watch a movie in a VCR. If you are much younger than me, you probably don't know what it is. So this one, I actually think you should search a VCR. If you are around my age, you know what I'm talking about. So there was a VCR in the apartment and I could rent movies. However, there were not that many options of English movies. Most of the movies I could rent were in Japanese. I did find one that I thought I could watch. I had not seen that movie before, and I'm sure that when I talk about it now, you probably know, because it's a cheesy romantic movie, which is also probably around 14 years old. It's called How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. So it's an easy movie to watch because the story is not overcomplicated, and it's kind of funny, kind of romantic, but it's easy to follow. So I rented that movie and I think I watched it 20 times maybe, because I didn't really find other options. After this first one, I found a horror movie, but at the time I wasn't the biggest fan. Today I enjoy horror movies, but at the time I didn't. So I ended up watching How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Yeah, I'd say probably 20 times. But the good thing about it, yes, there is a good thing about it, was that I watched it so many times that, I really understood the story, because the first time that you watch something that you've never seen before in English, you are going to understand the general meaning of the story, but you might miss some details, maybe some words that you didn't know, or maybe some slang. And when I watched it the second and third and fourth, you get the idea, the fourth time and so on, I actually started to really understand the words, that small beats that I couldn't really understand before. And well, I haven't watched that movie in a really long time, but I imagine that if I do watch it now, I'm probably gonna remember some of the sentences before, because I knew some of the sentences, by heart. But the good thing was that I learned lots of new words. And of course, then when I didn't, I did have a dictionary with me. So when I didn't know, I looked up the words. So I actually had a notebook. The notebook is not the most helpful thing if you don't know too many words. So if you started learning English not too long ago, keeping a notebook might be confusing because you're just going to be adding lots and lots of new words without any context behind it. So I wouldn't say it's very helpful. But if you do know how to speak English, but you just want to improve your vocabulary, keeping a notebook can actually be very useful, because I did that and I watched that movie so many times that the next time that I watched something new in English, I actually felt so much more confident. So, well, of course, that first choice of movie was not something inspiring. It was not a fantastic story. But starting with a movie that is easy to watch, that it's not too complicated, can be a great way to, get a hang of it, feel comfortable watching a movie in English, especially without a subtitle. Because at the time, if I wanted a subtitle, I could have Japanese subtitles, and of course that would not help me with anything. Another great thing about watching shows and movies in English is that you are going to hear slang, a lot of slang. So it's like what I said in the beginning of the video, that I said that reading is not everyone's cup of tea. So it's something that you can't literally translate. You have to understand the meaning behind that expression. So of course that if you watch American movies or British movies, the pronunciation, the accent is going to be different, and you're also going to hear different expressions, different kinds of slang. And that's the good thing, because slang is not something that you learn from a textbook. It's a cultural thing. So if you travel to America or if you travel to England, you are going to learn those expressions. But if right at this moment it's not something you can do, you can always watch a movie, watch a show, listening to music, because lyrics also are a great way to learn new words and to learn slang. And after you've learned an expression that is slang, you are very likely to remember it, especially if you've heard that expression, you've learned it from a movie, because you are going to remember the story, the context that expression was used, and you are going to remember the next time that you hear it, or maybe you are going to start using that expression. So if you have decided that you want to build a strong vocabulary, maybe this is your goal for the year, you have to add extra activities. Do not depend exclusively on your classes, because if you only learn new words when you are sitting at your desk studying English maybe 2 hours a week, it's going to take so much longer. So doing something that feels like fun, like watching a movie, like listening to music, it's a great way to help you learn new words, and of course listening to the correct pronunciation. But remember, you have to do it in an active way. So English subtitles or no subtitles, and pay attention when you really don't know a word that you've heard it 10 times watching this show. Search the word, because I can guarantee you that you are not going to forget it anymore.